It's 7 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We need to appoint someone to take minutes tonight. Peggy, would you be interested in taking the minutes? No?
Maybe if you could supply me with some paper, and if somebody cares to make motion, have it.
All right. I move that Treasurer Rosenwald take them. I'll give you some paper.
I second that.
She give me some paper.
Okay. So there was a motion by Rhonda, second by Corey, that Treasurer Rosema take the minutes tonight. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed the same? All right. You are the secretary. First item up is public comment.
Yes.
Amanda, I received an email today from Vine Services. Do you know what that is?
I've never heard of it.
Okay, it's somebody that works for the county prosecutor's office regarding things that have happened.
Okay.
Okay, and they said that there's going to be an informal meeting coming up regarding a case back long before you were here. It had to do with the former treasurer.
Okay.
So were you made aware of that, or are you going to be following up on that?
Well, I don't know about the Vine Services piece of it, or what they emailed you
Well,
about.
what they do is, when we had all those issues, people signed up to be notified.
Oh, like,
how
kind of like a
things-
victim services?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and they're going to be a hearing. Oh, let me see here. A motion hearing has been set for May 28th, 2026. So it's important that we follow up on it because there's a considerable amount of money owed yet.
Yes, I was not here, so I only, the rumor mill and Facebook is what I know about it. But Trudy knows quite a bit, so
Okay.
she's kind of filled me in a little. I did reach out to our township attorney to draft a letter, just reminding the court that we are owed money and it hasn't been paid, and to please consider that.
Okay, nobody's going to go to the motion hearing then, or?
I wouldn't really have anything. I don't know enough. I wasn't personally involved, so I don't have anything to say, but the attorney offered to go if we want to pay them, but it would cost quite a bit of money to send them. If there are former people that were involved, it might be better if they went because they have firsthand knowledge. But we do have a statement that will be read.
Oh, you're doing a statement then to the
The
courts?
attorney did a written statement on behalf of the township.
Okay, because I know it would cost a lot to have her go, but it's also a lot more. It's like what, 30,000 or something, I think, and
Yeah, I believe that's close.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that.
Do you have it there that you could read, like, what the motion is for?
Let's see, scheduled for, let's see. Please be aware that there are schedule updates, information. When I used to get these before, it says you can contact the Muskegon County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. So I know before residents were able to call the prosecutor's office and they could give them an update what these are for, what's going on. So I can do that,
I just wanted the residents to know it. The plea is to remove her original plea.
Did find out
The,
to
we have a
remove
letter.
her from the new plea.
To remove her plea from her original plea, and it will
Oh,
be reduced to a misdemeanor.
Wow.
And it will not be public anymore, it'll be private.
it what?
It won't be public, it'll be private, so you won't be able to search for it and find it.
Oh, really? Okay,
I think if you call the victim services, they can tell you, they can read you the
okay,
motion that her attorney has filed.
okay. Yeah, because that's a considerable, it might be worth having an attorney go.
I think it's like
Considering-
being expunged. I don't know if that's the term, but something to that effect, probably.
Okay. All right, I just thought I'd mention it. I was surprised I got it today,
Thank you.
so. Okay.
Thank you for your comment.
I have a request that I'm hoping that after our supervisor finishes her class on Monday nights, that you will consider changing the normal board meeting back to Monday nights. That's what it has been for years up until just the last few months. So please consider that, because I know a lot of people that would prefer Mondays. Thursdays, a lot of people want to take extended weekend. Therefore, any of these guys that have something that, you know, the board decided you needed to do, you're gonna end up putting it off, you know. So again, Monday gives you the rest of the whole week to get the tasks done. Second thing, unfortunately, Benji is not here tonight. I want to address the questions that he asked the two individuals that you spoke with about the clerk's position. Number one, he should have never asked what political party that they belong to. Yes, when that person runs for the position, a political party needs to be listed, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. But talking to them individually, that's their private business. Same thing with whether or not they attend church. So both of those questions should not be considered. You need to consider their qualifications, their experience. Maybe they're not experienced in the clerk's office, but they have, you know, that type of background type of situation. So again, think of the position overall and ask questions about that.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. This is just a refresher from back in July of last year. I had come to the board for Wolf Lake Methodist Church, which is now Wolf Lake Global Methodist Church. Just a refresher, that's been I've been a long-time resident of Egelston Township, actually since 1957, and a lifetime member of Wolf Lake Global Methodist Church. My friend Barb Clark and I are members here again to request again what we asked last year at the July 21st, 2025 meeting of the board considering Bach Street. As previously stated last year, Bach Street is a major access point of our parishioners, people that use our church for special events, plus people arriving to receive food donations from our REAP pantry. And it's also an access for the houses in back of our church and all the people that live on North Muskegon Boulevard. As I said at last summer's township meeting, we not only have all of the people that work, worship, and special events at our church that use that street as an entryway to the east side of the church, we also let the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, etc. to use that side of our church to park their vehicles to pick up the youth that attend Wolf Lake Elementary School. Wolf Lake Global Methodist Church plans on being at 378 Vista Terrace Street for many, many years to come, probably long after I'm gone, and would like to continue to make the use of our building and parking lot available for all who enter and use the east side of our building. So Barb and I, plus all of the hundreds of groups of people that are using the long-standing church, would be blessed if this township would see that this spring, without fail and as soon as possible, have the Muskegon Road Commission, through Egelston Township Board approval, see that it's taken care of. And I thank you in advance that all of you on this board will make possible, and God bless. And I have copies of the area that I'm talking about, and I was also blessed by Trudy to get a copy of exactly where Bach Street is, in case anybody is interested. I'll give it to the board so that you can see that for a long, long time it's been nothing but sand and the street itself, but we were blessed also with someone donating money to pave parking area for us. So we have the parking area, and that's where a lot of the cars will go, because that is a cement and a pavement area. But the other is not just for our church, but for the surrounding people that use it. So I will give you a copy of that, of what I said tonight, and also a copy of what I say. Trudy was so generous to go out and get where Box Street is a street. It was paved at one time, has been paved actually probably several times.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I reached out, Mary Lou approached me a couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, I don't know. And I reached out to MDOT, and the question has always been, since she's been approaching the board, is that section a public road? And the rest of Box Street is, but what about that section? So I just emailed MDOT, and then I got a response. I wanted to know when, or if or when, Muskegon County Road Commission took in that road as a public road. And indeed they did. I can't remember the year now, but it is part of a public road, and so we could do like we treat other public roads. Sometimes, according to the Road Commission, we pay 50-50 with them, and sometimes we pay 75-25. But if Bach Road comes up the rest of it, or if we want to do that little section, it's like 1/8 of a mile. We recently we did Lulabelle, right? A little tiny section of Lulabelle also that wasn't on our 3-year plan, but I think the quote was like 33,000, wasn't it, Mary Lou? Last
and
year,
then I
maybe a little more
make
now.
One comment. If for some reason the board doesn't feel that they can do the full area, then we would love it if they do at least 1/3 of it. Might be more financially available, but we're really hoping that they can do it all. Thank
I
you.
think if we voted to do that, we could afford that.
Any other public comment?
Good evening, everybody. My name's Adam Cox. For those of you who don't know me, I was the original person that was offered the full-time position as a firefighter here. I sent a letter up to Amanda and to Chief I think about 2 weeks ago now. I was hoping that maybe the board members had gotten a copy of it or had been briefed about it, but I just wanted to give some feedback on the process. From my opinion, outside source, the process that I underwent to be offered the position was probably the best process that I've ever seen completed. It eliminated bias out of anybody from the department by bringing in different people to conduct the interview, the testing and the physical agility stuff that was incorporated into it. So I was very thankful for that. I thank the board for being patient with me while I got a few things cleared up. One suggestion I do have for the board is, if somebody comes in and does a physical, anybody who's been around a few years, they get some aches and pains. I made a comment to my provider at the workplace health that I had a shoulder pain, led into investigation on that delayed the process, which ultimately cost me the position of being able to come out here and join you wonderful people out here and serve this community. Feedback that I have on that is, if somebody's got to get with a specialist, an orthopedic doctor, something like that, they may require a little bit more time. Specialists are hard to come by. Most people in this room have got a few more years behind them. So as we age, we got to see those specialists, and we can't just call them up and say, hey, I need to see you tomorrow. We got to schedule those out in advance. Once I got informed that I was put on light duty, which I was not informed of by my doc, I started the process of trying to get into an appointment, and that delayed me. I picked the soonest appointment I could, and that is what ultimately cost me from coming out here. I understand that you guys are still in waiting for the new person to start. I recently was cleared just shortly after the deadline had delayed, and I think if we would have had a little bit more time in that process, I think I would have been out here and we would have been started and this process would have been behind us. But again, I just wanted to come here tonight and express to the board that the process that the chief set into place for this was, in my opinion, spot on. I'm going to be taking this process to the Mason County Rural Fire Authority as they work on bringing on a couple full-time people there and we're going to use this process to eliminate the bias and the nepotism that frequents our rural communities. So with that, thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
So I noticed that appointment of the clerk didn't make it on the agenda, and I just wanted the board to know and build some background for you also for the future, the types of things that, since we're in a crunch right now, that need to be done, particularly because there's an election. So the clerk and the deputy clerk need to have a secure login and credentials for e-learning training. It's required by law for someone to run an election. And they also need to have a QVF login. Think of that as like a voter database. So they can put absentee ballot voter lists, monitor the military and overseas civilians, track voter files, do voter updates, answer residents' questions. You know, I applied for an absentee ballot, I didn't get it, or I got one and I didn't apply, and other things like that. They also need to create accounts for other trainings. Like I said, it's required for a clerk to run the election to be trained. Trainings are June 4th and June 25th. Our administrative assistant in the office, we're expecting her to go to those. Accuracy testing for the voting machines need to be done. Ballot testing needs to be completed. The election commission, which is the clerk, treasurer, and supervisor, we need to vote to approve the precinct workers, the chairs of the precincts, and the receiving board, and some may no longer be interested. So we'll need to contact them, find that out, and possibly try to find other people that have been trained to be an election worker. 8 hours in addition to the regular work week, the clerk needs to be available for voters to register in late July, not late, but in late July. And usually that's a Saturday, so a person needs to plan for that. For enhanced internal controls and fraud protection and compliance and accuracy, we need a treasurer and a clerk to be authorized to sign at Choice One Bank. And obviously we don't have a clerk, so we need time for the bank to create those forms and for us to get over there. And I won't have to because I'm already on there, but they have to have Social Security and picture of their driver's license, and it takes time for those things to happen. The clerk also needs to be added to our investment accounts, and we have to physically go to multiple financial institutions because we have to keep our accounts diverse. And all this needs to happen, and our deputy clerk current is going to be done June 25th at noon. So I want whoever it is to have time, the deputy and the clerk, to learn as much as they can from the current people. You know, the deputy clerk stated there's just tons of background things going on to work for an election. But then there's the day-to-day work of the clerk also, in addition to those elections. And we are in a very unique situation. We're already crunched for time. And if we delay this even 2 more weeks, we're going to force our office people to be rushing and hurrying. And we know that's when errors happen. And we lots of people have volunteered to help. The county, others in our office are trying to keep track of dates when we bill people and we do things to help a new clerk. But if our election goes awry and there's errors, it's not just the clerk that's liable, it's our whole board. And so I don't want us to rush people and at the last minute, now 2 weeks before they have to do training and do all these things, it takes time. So when I sit down, I like to make the motion to add the clerk appointment to the agenda.
Is there any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Okay. All right, that brings us to approval of the agenda. I do apologize. I meant to put it on here. I had to tweak a few things and was working on getting some documentation, and I failed to get it on here. I did plan to add that. So also to follow up, I've been diligently working with MTA, the County of Muskegon. I have met with neighboring clerks because knowing that Joan was ill, not resigning until June, but also hearing that possibly she's more ill than we even realized. I knew I had to be prepared in case that she passed away before she was able to resign, which we know did happen. We were within hours of having to have a special election, but I've got a stack of paperwork that's stick in my office. I've got the oath printed. I've got everything ready. I signed Heather up for the class, so I am well aware, just so you know, of what we have to do. Our end date is May 30th that we have to have someone appointed. Most of those things, they are very important. I mean, the signups and stuff, but a lot of that, I mean, it can be done. So don't fret, we will be okay. No one is gonna let us flounder. They have offered to help, but it is important that we pick someone and get them nominated. I don't think that we need to have them take the oath immediately because most people probably have to get some things in order. But we were able to get Chris on the bank account the same day that, or Heather, whoever it was that we had to add, they did it on the same day.
So you intended to put it on the agenda then?
But I did intend to put it on here because someone might have to give a 2-week notice, and that puts us into March or May 21st. So we're like so close. Our next meeting, we wouldn't have enough time to give a 2-week notice. It really needs to be tonight.
Okay.
I make a motion we add the clerk appointment to the agenda.
I second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? So we'll just add it to what, 12 and make
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
13
I'm worried
adjourned.
about my minutes. Yeah, I will amend my motion to make the clerk appointment number 12 and move adjournment to 13.
I approve.
Okay.
I make a motion to take number 11 and put it as 2C.
I don't have any objection to that. It was just my idea and it wasn't on the chief's letter, so it didn't come from him.
I'll second that motion.
Move number 11 to 2C
Yep,
for minutes. Thank
and
you.
then 12 and 13 would just fall backwards.
I agree.
Okay, so then 11 would 12.
So 12 would be adjourned.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as we've
As amended.
as amended. Thank you.
I second.
Corey motion, Ben second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's approved. How about the consent agenda? Any concerns with that?
Nope. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Corey, second by Peggy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda approved. Communications.
Nothing for communications.
Our candidate did pass all their screening and can start work Monday
Firefighter?
for firefighter. So, other than that,
Are the boards full now? Because the last time we met, you still didn't have everybody on the PC or ZBA or whatever.
that is number 8.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just wondering, could we get as part of this communication, could we get some feedback from the fire department? Can I ask them something? Just a
What's
question.
it about?
I just wanted to know if you had any more questions about the onboarding for the new candidate for the fire department, as far as like when they would be starting or anything like that.
The last I was notified, the start date is Monday the 11th, and I do have a final copy of the physical that says that he's good to go.
Was there anything else you needed to know about that? Okay.
We'll make that up.
Okay, good.
All right. Action items, DPW, Herb. There is a letter in there. You want to come talk? It's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
Any questions or comments about the work projection and things that we've completed and things about to happen?
It sounded like some things got put on hold, or that like some of the budget like a request for a roundabout budget for some of the projects that we had in mind. Were those still going, or were they kind of paused?
Anything on what I have typed up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any questions about what I have
Oh,
typed up? If
don't
it's
mind
not
that at
on
all.
there, I have not prepared for any other questions except what's on the sheet.
That's kind of one question I had about the budget minutes. I wish that we kind of had the requests from the board for information. I wish that was kind of in the budgets, because that could have served as like a list too. So any of those like ballpark figures that we might be looking for to add to the budget. But other than that, but
The
it's
budget minutes
approved
are
now,
supposed
we
to-
can just do a separate list if that's okay.
The budget minutes are to capture any changes that we would want made in the dollar amounts for line items that were in the proposed budget.
Okay. Are you able to give a list of the things we requested?
It's in the minutes.
Oh, in the minutes
and
for the
I
budget?
think they're, yeah, I think they're in our packet
I
even.
looked through that budget and I didn't see that.
Yeah, they should be in there. No, I submitted them to the deputy clerk to post, so maybe, yeah, they're not in there. This is last week's we did. The packets were
Oh,
done
I see it. I
before.
see that's for the
That's
April.
the
So the
April
one
27th.
from,
May 4th, yeah, the minutes are done. They should be posted.
So-
and-
so the one from this week, that's gonna be,
Our budget hearing is going to be on the night of June 18th.
okay.
So that's where the public comes and we have the budget hearing. So we have time, like if we need to make another budget meeting.
So I just wanted to be sure in the next budget, minutes, if that was noted, if all the requests for the ballpark figures for the budget, if we could have that written down.
I can only put something that it has a dollar amount that we're changing from the proposed budget to what we agreed to
Okay.
change the line items.
So then do you have a list of the things that we requested other than that?
I know what we talked about, but at a budget meeting, what goes on that is not what we're requesting,
Mm-hmm.
unless we're changing a line item by either increase it or decrease. We did decrease one because the fishing dock will come out of this year's budget, but
So would you be prepared to put a list together for her that's in writing so that he knows everything that we're
I
requesting?
have a list you gave me.
That
I'll hand it to her.
you will? Okay,
Mhm.
thank you so
Yep.
much. Thank you.
So I'm the wish granter for everybody, this is all, everything's gonna go to the Parks and Recs department,
Not as
I
individual.
feel like I'm reading into this
I
wrong, but
understand.
I would love to stay focused on what I got up here
Yeah.
before we go down any more
We
rabbit
were,
holes.
we were, together as a board requesting those things. It wasn't an individual thing. So when we had a quorum and we were requesting those things, we would like those, yes.
But at the budget meeting is not a time to do that.
To request the ballpark figures.
Yeah.
Is there
because-
any other time that we should be
We,
doing that?
Chris entered all the budget numbers today. It's a timely matter, and we shouldn't be changing the proposed budget now. If we decide to spend more money
We're-
later,
we're not-
or go above,
No, this isn't changing the budget. This is requesting ballpark figures so that we can have an informed decision about changing the budget.
but
So,
we can't change the budget now unless we bring it to a board later and amend the budget, make a budget amendment. What we agreed to is done and entered. But
we have not approved the budget.
No, but it had to be entered by a certain time, and everything revolves around that, according to the deputy clerk. When we get our L4029s, or there's another one from the county, all of that is contingent on what we put in for budget numbers, and they got entered already.
So what my email and what Trudy is trying to say, like basically to sum it up, what I think we're trying to say, those conversations and requests should have been brought to her like last fall, last winter, so he could have gotten all the estimates, put it in his budget hearing proposal. So is that how you would also think? Like if we had these big plans, we would have brought them to you, say September, you would have had time to gather your information, do the research, and bring them to budget hearing.
Yeah,
That's how it normally should work.
Not the day of the budget hearing.
So, I guess I didn't word my email properly or convey it well, but so if we could have some meetings, it's not that we can't do it this budget year, it's that it's too late in this process that they've already got their trial budget, which I was not involved in. So maybe next year I can be involved. I don't know. Trudy didn't get involved either. Maybe the next year we can be involved with the department heads and the clerk or the admin assistant, but
I didn't recall anything in the fall for upcoming budget changes, like any preparation for that. Should we be having a budget hearing or a budget workshop or something in the fall then now?
we should be strategically planning for the future and talking about like our Parks and Rec plan, which is on the agenda tonight.
Which, yeah, it didn't exist.
Those conversations should be things like if we come in an hour before a meeting, we talk through and then we're prepared, knowing that budget hearings are going to happen in May, we're prepared to have those numbers already plugged in when we sit down, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to even do all these projects without that approved. And that
So,
was,
but we can
but that was
amend
sent
it.
here, and I thought it was supposed to be approved a long time ago, so that kind of held things up. But I didn't recall any like fall meeting that we needed to have in preparation for the budget. So if we could maybe schedule like a workshop or something
Like a fall
down
workshop.
then, and then since we are coming into a new budget and we are likely to approve the Parks and Rec plan, if there's any way we could possibly get some of those things on the next budget, in some way that would be ideal. So that we're not waiting an entire year.
We can have a strategic planning meeting next month and we can amend the budget.
Okay, I agree.
So,
That's not true. You amend the budget after you go over it. Budget amendments, like say the roof blows off the roof back there and Herb hadn't planned for a new roof. We can approve to spend that money and then people in the office and our BSNA software have to do some journal entries to amend the budget. Yeah.
but like,
We're
could
not
we
going to
do-
change our budget now. It's already entered. Our proposed budget, it's, all of our numbers from here on out are based on those. Obviously, we could vote to spend money and if it's not in the budget, we can increase it.
We haven't approved the budget.
We will, but the numbers have to be in now. It's part of this process isn't like, change it now. We can't change a proposed budget. Everything's already entered and already, all the numbers are based on that. And millage rates will be coming in and other things too. Drain assessment, I mean, it's, the process of working on the proposed budget, we already did.
So that delays any improvements on the parks.
No, what
No.
she said was, when we get together, we can choose to work on those and then approve to amend the budget after that, to include those things.
In July?
Yes.
Not next month then. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be July because that's the next budget. We're still on this previous budget, yes.
All
I
right.
mean, technically we could spend money in June and amend last year's budget, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we have money in that line item.
So,
So when we do the budget, shouldn't we be voting to approve the budget before we have to have it entered?
No,
Yeah.
because it's, I forgot what it's called. It's
Makes
not
sense
your
to me.
expenditures. It happens in June.
are there any questions about the work projection or completed tasks?
No, I think it's great.
No, yeah, I do. Where did you trench the new well to the pump house, at what place?
Beals Park.
Beal? Okay.
Denton Wells installed the well. They had to trench. It was probably 150 feet.
Okay.
So it was done in the fall. So we let it all settle. We compacted it. We came in with soil, seed, and straw. And then we did our whole pump startup this year. And then the health department had to come out, inspect it, do 2 back-to-back chloroform and bacteria tests.
Yeah.
Everything passed.
Okay.
So we won't need to have that inspected for another 5 years.
And then, the dock, are you talking about where the dock went to the, because it says bridge on here, structure?
Oh,
Is he
that-
talking about like the boardwalk thing?
Item E,
It says, with the board's permission to remove bridge structure on the north end of Sunset Beach.
yeah, that's item E.
Yeah.
So there used to be a pavilion that was over on that north end of Sunset Beach. There was a bridge that went to it. We have a sidewalk that goes to the bridge. So when the waters came about 4 years ago, it completely overtook the pavilion. So out of safety, we had to have the whole pavilion removed. But because we have to have a pavilion do the grant for Sunset Beach, that's when we relocated a brand new pavilion to Pine Ridge.
Sure, yeah.
So this bridge has just been sitting there and it's in worse shape than our old fishing dock. So I want to remove it during our spring cleanup next week.
Okay. Yeah, if it's bad, we probably.
It's really bad. And it doesn't serve a purpose right now, it's just an eyesore.
Just there.
Sure.
It's probably a liability.
It could be.
Just goes out into the water. Are these action items?
Yeah. Well, no, not the work completion, but
No.
Did you get your new mower?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All of them working good? Good.
And then we've got one on Ranger bid. They came out, did a fabulous job. He probably took 40 pictures, video, really professional. We put one of our old fertilizer spreaders on there. I think Alex is really on to something by getting those guys. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a check coming for that pretty soon.
Awesome.
all right. So first action item is the lift station cleaning.
So this is a biannual deal that we do every year, twice a year, and it's proactive for the lift stations. We call plumbers environmental in. Usually takes 2 full days. They come to each lift station. We pull all the floats. We work with them hand in hand. This also tests our alarm system as well. So they power wash and clean and suck out every lift station. It's very proactive, and it's helped with our lift stations immensely. And it's been budgeted for the last few years to do it twice a year.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the lift station cleaning in the amount of $5,900.
I second.
Okay, Corey motion to approve the lift station cleaning with Plumbers Environmental for $5,900. Benj seconded, and we will roll call vote.
Oh, I have to say that. Corey. I'm waiting for
Yes.
my turn. I'm like,
Yeah.
how come nobody's... Rhonda?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
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 And me, yes.
Next is the spring fertilizer request. Trudy, I think everybody kind of knows I'm a huge fan of Groninx out of Nunica. That's who I've been using for many, many years. Groninx did sell. I thought that could be a reason why the prices went up, but when I started getting bids and prices from other places, fertilizer is on a super high. So a lot of the bags have actually doubled as far as poundage, but Groninx still came in far less expensive than the other 2 quotes I gave you. I did get other quotes from other places just to see where the trend was. Groninx is still what fits our community the best, and it's still underpriced compared to the other 2 bids that I got you. And we still have money in the budget for that.
I make a motion that we accept Ronex elevator and hardware for the fertilizer.
I second that.
For the amount of $2,168.76.
Corey second?
Yes.
All right, roll call vote.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Me, yes.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Benj?
Yes.
Just for the record, if anybody else is buying fertilizer, it used to be $24 a bag. It's now $34 a bag at Groninx.
Wow.
And some of the other places have
I
definitely
know
doubled.
where I'm going now. No.
All right, so that motion carried 6-0. Next up, fishing dock.
Big deal. I'm pretty excited about this one. We did talk about this at budget hearing, and the board graciously said, we don't want to wait till July 1 and August and possibly may not even have a fishing dock this year. So, at the board's approval, we're looking for funds. We're going to take it out of the general fund, and we want to go forward on getting a brand new fishing dock for the community. We're also wanting to put it at the north end by the sidewalk, and we want to get ADA ramps up to the fishing dock. This new fishing dock is all aluminum. There's no wood in it. There's no wood rails. It's not an eyesore, and our old fishing dock was condemned. So staying in tune with this whole grant that we got, and for the community that we've shown them this fishing dock, we want to keep a fishing dock down there. And the positive part is too, we can put it in earlier and take it out later because our our time exposed in the water is reduced to an hour from like 6 hours. So I don't know if you could hold that picture, if anybody in the crowd wants to kind of see.
Oh,
So it still
We're all
has that
excited.
same T formation. The rails are state of the art. The whole dock is state of the art. And then I did include 2 other quotes. I made a couple visits to this, got on it, jumped on it, took videos. It's really sharp.
We want to see those videos.
Would-
All right.
Can you bring them next time?
If you say yes, I'll show you some
Just a
videos.
crazy question, is this gonna have any kind of lights for boats not to hit it, or people and so forth?
Oh, if we did have, what I could
solar
probably
maybe
do
or
is put some
something?
reflectors on
Oh,
it.
that would be good.
Yeah, reflectors, we don't have any power, but yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
I think it should have that also.
Yes, I agree.
And this location is where that ADA sidewalk is north of that little landing where jet skis would come and land up there next to the boat launch. So boats aren't supposed to come up in there anyways.
So it will be,
Potentially.
I've seen them do it.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be assuming it's gonna be in the old spot, but we're gonna take it all the way to the north end, and we're gonna have a lot better access to it. And I mean, from what I've seen in the past, there's always people fishing on that end anyhow. So this is gonna, it'll take some getting used to, because everybody's used to it on the south end. But seeing it on the north end, I think, and seeing how nice it's gonna be, once we get that old bridge out of there, get the new dock, we get the sidewalk all cleared, we get the ADA ramps up to it.
How soon can we do this?
Depending on what you vote tonight, I'm gonna be calling them first thing in the morning and giving them a PO number.
Okay.
So,
Which one of these are you recommending, Herb?
so it's the FLOE
Okay.
for $28,556.55. So you'll see the Harbor Master version, and then there's a lock dock. And I did put in my, my sheet that it is very hard to compare apples to apples. I mean, everybody's got something new and improved, way to slice the bread. But everything I looked at, this was the best. Very robust. It should last us for a couple decades. As long as no one runs that tail, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But with reflectors and when we have our swim buoys out, which we'll be putting out here in a couple weeks.
What's the length of the docks? Because it looks like there's different measurements for pieces on these quotes.
So there's 5 10-foot sections and then 4 by 8 sections, so it should go out 50 feet
Okay,
roughly.
okay.
Possibly a little farther than our old one.
I make a motion to approve the flow dock quote for $28,556.55.
I second that.
All right, Corey motioned, Peggy seconded. We will roll call vote.
Amanda,
Yes.
Trudy, yes. Peggy,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Cory,
Yes.
Rhonda.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
2 minutes. In the very beginning, we were talking about the budget and the meetings that we had, and everybody had great ideas, and that was a great brainstorming event. But it's so hard to just go from a brainstorming to putting it on paper. So my suggestion is when you do get together, try to, get your ideas together, but find maybe 2 or 3 that you really want to see happen. And we can, make it go forward. I mean, because everybody's got great ideas, right? And no one wants to say, your idea is no good, your idea is no good. Because anything we do positive for the township, it's going to be a positive, right?
Yeah.
But we want to do our homework, we want to get the money together, we want to get budgeted. Is this going to benefit the township? So,
It was a nice meeting. All of us were passionate and excited about it. It was nice. I also wanted to mention the fishing dock is brand new, and Danny worked on a bunch, and probably the other DPW helped. If you haven't seen the new fishing dock, boat launch. The boat launch is really nice, and this fishing dock. I was wondering why people want the fishing dock where the swim area is. Wouldn't there be like hill hooks down there and stuff? So I'm really excited. It's over there where there's an ADA sidewalk, and on the other end. So thank you for working to make
and one
this
other
happen.
thing, everybody is so eager on the board to make things better here in Egelston, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But we just got to rein
Right
it
time
in
and
just a
place.
little
Right
bit.
time
Well,
and place.
Trudy, you said you were going to give them the notes from that
Yep.
meeting. So.
Okay.
In writing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Herb.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so we need to vote on removal of the boardwalk. So I make a motion that we remove the old boardwalk.
I second that.
Peggy seconds. And let's just roll call vote for the fun of it.
Thank you. Peggy,
Yes.
Veg,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Trudy, yes.
All right, motion carries 6-0. Chief McGinnity.
All right, just a couple quick things. The first one, item up was the April reports. We did have a delay in getting the Haas report. I did email that to Supervisor Fano. Did you guys get that sent to you?
No. Did you send us the hospital?
Yeah.
Yes, it's here. It's this one with the dotted lines on it.
Okay.
Say
The reports look different. They look nice. Nice and colorful.
still a work in progress, but that's what we got. That's where we're at.
No, I really appreciate that.
Second item we have up is for bay door repair. We had an incident where the bay door was left down slightly, and we went to go back an apparatus in and cut the bottom of it, bent the panel. Also did a little bit of damage to the back of 622, but I think that can be buffed out. So right now, we're looking to approve the quote from Affordable Door and Gate in the amount of $1,293 to come out of the building line item. We had a similar incident like this a few years ago. The panels, he said, it ranges. We get it ordered, it could be here in 2 weeks, it could be in here in 2 months. So my hope is to get it ordered and get it here sooner than later. Once we get it here, they get it installed, there will be an additional cost for painting, which we talked about redoing the front bay doors this year as we did the back ones last year, so we can incorporate that in. But main concern is getting the panel ordered so we can get it here and installed.
I make a motion to approve the Affordable Door and Gate quote for $1,293.
Second.
Corey motioned, Ben seconded.
Ben,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Meg, yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Can I comment about the, what do you call, the Haas?
Yes.
It's, can you tell them what the Haas is mounted on the truck and?
The Haas system is electronic, cellular base, sends data signals out to navigation systems and vehicles that will alert them there's emergency vehicles approaching, or you're approaching an emergency vehicle if we're stopped and operating on the roadway. It's to give some advanced warning to those vehicles running those navigation systems to help prevent accidents. It's really intended to help prevent the motoring public from getting hurt and fire personnel, emergency personnel working in the roadway from getting hurt. And this was, the system we got was actually through the park plan grant. So as of right now, we're doing this without any additional cost.
Yeah, and 183 drivers were alerted in April this year. But I always point out, our average time to scene is supposed to be under 4 minutes, right? And we were like borderline, little over, little under. It's averaging 3.1 minute, and that's amazing for our firefighters to be there, and that's a great time, and it's really important that we have that. So again,
And being somewhat
you.
centrally located, and when I say centrally located,
Yeah.
I don't mean necessarily geographically, but it's to the heaviest call volumes, and we have that going for us, so that reflects on those numbers a little bit.
Would you mind, would you give the total to date that have been alerted?
oh, 4,432. So if you're driving down the road and the emergency vehicle's coming one of ours, it'll let you know. Does it talk through your, what do you call it?
Just your navigational app.
It'll
yeah.
say emergency
If you're
vehicle
using
approaching,
Waze or Apple Maps or a couple of the infotainment systems, and some of the manufactured vehicles are tied to the system, so you'll get that alert.
We'll take any kind of help we can get in
Yeah.
response, so that's huge for us.
Okay, and then item C, Corey wanted to move it up, the Explorer. So for the board, this page is towards the back of your packet. There is an annual premium of $1,292. So it's not really expensive, about $100 a month that we're paying for insurance.
I don't have that in mind.
It's towards the back.
Looks like blue
No,
writing.
this is all I got.
Behind it?
I'm missing it in mine. Can I make copies?
Here, you can have mine.
You sure?
I don't have one either.
Do you want me to make a copy?
Okay.
So there are more sheets that have all of the vehicles that we own as a township that have all the premiums, but I just copied the last page. So I know when we were approving the new truck purchase, it was said that there were some electrical issues similar to the truck, the check engine light. I just want to make sure I do my due diligence that if it's a danger or just a money pit, I think we should remove it from service. I know it was said that it wasn't planned to be replaced, and it's usually used for hauling a large crew of people back in COVID. We do have crew cab trucks, so I don't know if there is a need for it, but I'd like to look for some feedback on if you have changed your mind, or do you agree that we should remove it from service?
Can I,
Are you asking? We don't know anything about this, just so you know, this, I don't know.
So Alex
far-
came
as
to my
far as being
office
an
a few months
agenda
ago
item.
and made a comment that, talking about the brush trucks were coming for replacement, 2 of them, and then the crew cab that is the response vehicle, and then maybe his chief's truck, and like what would be coming down the road for this plan. But the comment was that it's like a death trap. And then I was over at the station talking one day, and it was said that we don't really use it. We went to get uniforms last summer. It's not really used. We do pay insurance on it. I know we have an umbrella policy, but there is a copay assigned to each thing, or a premium. But when I hear that, it's dangerous. And then in that meeting that we just had, it was said that, you said that truck has too many mechanical problems, electrical problems, and it was said that that one has the same problems. So if it has the same problems of the truck we're selling, I feel like we need to sell it. I don't want to put my firefighters in a vehicle that is dangerous to drive.
Well, and especially if we don't use it very often for anything.
Right,
It's not the first out, it's not the.
right. It's just kind of a bonus vehicle.
I'd like to know what the chief and deputy chief have to say.
You want to start?
Yeah, so that whole conversation, budget and planning, that vehicle is not, if it were to be a daily runner, I think we'd have bigger concerns about running it. The fact it's not a daily runner, it sits there, doesn't get used a ton, but when we need it for, like, when we get a storm, we get line down calls and we're sending out a lot of people to go sit on things, instead of leaving a big engine sit there, we can do that. Or if we're going to get uniforms or running errands outside of the township, we're not taking a vehicle that has our first line equipment on it. So yeah, it's nearing its end of life. It's not a daily runner. I wouldn't want to run it as a daily runner. It serves as a purpose. It gives us a good backup. It is in our response planning. We were in those whole budget discussions and planning, which was a couple-year plan. Yes, it would go away. The thought was you replace what the chief's driving, and that gets moved down into that role, and then we're not necessarily losing that flexibility. Is it an absolute have to have it? No, but we like to have about plan A, B, C, D, E, and F, because we just don't always know what's coming at us. So it is like plan E or F.
So it is still safe?
It's safe. I mean, I wouldn't, again, if it was a daily driver and we were trying to run this every day on emergency stuff, it wouldn't last long. It wouldn't make it very long. It would break down.
What are its issues?
Our thought process is if we had to start dumping maintenance money into it, we would just say part ways with it. There's a check engine light on it. It's
And the rockers are starting to rust out.
Yeah, the rockers are starting to rust out on it, and it's.
So you'd rather keep it until the new chief's truck gets replaced. And
So
then you
keep
just
in
move back
mind,
up.
we're still trying to build out what this replacement plan looks like, and we're
Mhm.
trying to have those discussions with you guys and get feedback from you on what you want to see from us. Similarly to what Herb said, we want to know what your ideas are, well, we can't read your minds. We can't act, we can't do, we can't facilitate around it if we don't know what you're thinking. And we don't want to just drop it on you at a board meeting, and you have to make a split-second decision. And that's kind of talking about the stuff in the fall or something before budgeting. Yeah, maybe that's an idea, right? The sole purpose of this gives us the flexibility, so if we're sending guys out for uniforms or training and that, we're not taking an MFR licensed vehicle out of our jurisdiction. That still remains in service to serve the public. Similarly to sitting on wires down, if we have a big storm where we could block roads or block lines, we're putting that vehicle out there. That'll block them. We're keeping our MFR licensed vehicles in the station ready to take the next call. So
So it still has a use.
it does.
It's limited, and yeah, it's a board decision if you don't want the 1,200 in insurance, you don't want to continue to pay that, and we have to adjust what we're doing. But we just need some time to make those adjustments. There's equipment on that vehicle that have to come off. You know, all the emergency lighting has to come off. The two-way radio that's technically owned by dispatch, so we're going to take that out and have a place for it. So, yeah, I mean, we need a plan. I mean, we just. Like you don't want us to spring stuff on you, we kind of don't want stuff sprung on us either. We need to be able to plan and work through it. That's kind of how this is supposed to work.
Not necessarily with this unit, but with other units, they're part of a response plan, right? They're in a CAD dispatch, so we have to be able to plan for and remove and replace and shift that policy around, which if we're going to revise a policy, there's a process for that now as well, so.
But you guys
There's a lot
had
of
said
stuff.
before it's not a response vehicle, you're not taking it to a response. And the reason that we just bought you a new truck is that it wasn't reliable because of an electrical problem. So my fear is that if you're saying this has the same electrical problem and you're using it as a response vehicle, that's not good. That makes me worried.
I don't think that one has any electrical
How often
problems.
have you used it in the last 12 months?
It's going to be hard to tell because if we're not
Good
taking
approximate.
it on runs, we can't pull the run numbers for it. If we're using it for like to go to trainings and uniforms, it was just used the other day when we had a blowout on a brush truck tire to transport the tire back and forth from the station. So it's intermittent.
About how many days out of a month do you think that you would use it?
It's like asking how
2 or
many
3.
calls a month we're gonna
I
run,
just
you know.
estimated 2 or 3.
Dave,
3
did
days
you-
out of a month.
I thought, Alex, someone said you took it a couple times to do
A year.
something
Yeah,
recently.
I've taken it. I've taken it on calls. So like when we've had a couple bad accidents out on Maple Island, coming from where I come from, I stop and grab that, and I've taken it and I've driven it.
So have we recently added a truck and now we're just trying to get rid of this one? Is that where?
Well, there was a meeting a few weeks ago where we voted on the purchase of a new truck. I don't know if you were here, and I know you said you don't have that paper in your packet, but it was the last page of your electronic packet that I sent to everybody. And it has a reference to the meeting. I mean, it's out there on YouTube, the meeting where we talked about this vehicle and how we don't really use it. What's wrong with it? Electrical problems similar to the truck that this board voted. I did not. I voted no. But you guys voted to replace that truck at the tune of like $90,000 because it has an engine light and mechanical electrical issues. And Alex came to my office and said, that vehicle's a death trap. We need to replace
Never said it was
it.
a death trap. You said it was a death trap in the meeting.
I wouldn't know that, but that's what you said in my office one day. I wouldn't know what it is. I don't drive those vehicles.
It's a 2010 Ford Explorer, so it is 15, 16, whatever years old. The special driver's license, now CDL, that anyone that drives their big other apparatus, not necessarily just the big ones, do they have to have the same driver's license for this, just since it's just a regular quote-unquote vehicle?
The other use for this, which we don't have it currently because we don't have any probationary members, what we've done, we experience, it's nationwide, right? Shortage of firefighters, shortage of responses. It used to be our probationary members had to come to the station, stay at the station, and weren't allowed to go to the calls. We're finding that we could have some people that are medically licensed, but still have to go through the firefighting academy. So we got about half of them, right? They're halfway done. But they're on probation, so they can't run the calls yet.
That was my point.
What we've done is we have allowed them to come to the station, grab the 682, this Ford Explorer, non-emergency, can go to the scene to help with additional hands-on if they have their CPR cards or and they're medically qualified to do so.
And there's no other vehicle that could do that.
It could.
The
Well, no,
brush
no.
trucks, the brush
Yes.
trucks are the only thing that
Yes.
aren't licensed for medical.
Because they wouldn't be able to take the medically licensed truck.
How many, and the brush trucks are the only other ones that are not medically licensed?
So a
Yes.
non-probationary person we're talking about here, people on probation.
And that's
not a
pretty
problem.
rare, isn't it, that situation?
Not always. We just had a couple that for the last
Or
3
new
years
employees,
that we've
we
worked
hire-
through.
if we hire
But-
par-pays, we just posted, our
And
posting for them.
We're going through
When
that
we add,
process.
when we
right
add paid
now,
on call,
so.
then we have recruits for
Sorry,
up to
yeah.
2 years. Just depends where we're at in the process.
3 days out of the month, this just seems pretty sparse to me. And if you don't need it, need it.
What do you think?
And we just got a truck.
Go on Ranger bid if we decide to sell it, what do you think it's
So
worth?
I think what we're confusing is we're confusing the new truck with this truck. They're not the same.
But what's
We're-
the,
we're
what's the,
replacing
So
one
the
truck
new-
that's gonna be sold.
Yeah, the new truck is replacing a different truck. That's 2001 Ford.
That one will be sold.
That one.
oh, that one is being sold. Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one will be sold.
All right.
This is a different truck.
All right.
Did that help you?
Yeah. Thank you.
So if we were to send people for training and they do take their POV, then you go into paying mileage and all this kind of stuff for them to go through that if it's the department sponsored training. So does it serve a purpose? Yes. Is it saving us money? Not necessarily. Could it not? Just depends.
They could take their personal vehicle and accomplish the same thing, is what you're saying.
Right, we do pay, I mean, I have a fear that someone takes that and they break down, and then what do we do? If the check engine light is on and they break down, then we're on the hook to what? Get them a rental car, go pick them up, fix the car, and if we wait until it dies, then we get nothing. If we sell it now, we might get $5,000 on Ranger bid, and we're paying insurance on it. I mean, it is kind of sad to me that the board didn't look through their packet or look at the minutes that are there where you can hear the conversation that was said. Instead of throwing accusations back and forth, watch the YouTube and hear what the chief said about the truck. It is right here in black and white too. We won't use it, we'll sell it. So I don't feel like I'm springing anything on you. I take offense to that statement that I'm springing it on you because we talked about it a month
So-
ago.
So how much money would this save with the insurance taken off this one particular?
$12.92.
Oh,
I'm more
right in front of
concerned.
my-
I mean,
Yeah, blue line.
I feel like it's a waste of money if we're not using it, but I'm more concerned that it was said to have safety issues with which most of this board decided the other truck could not be in service because Deputy Chief went to start it and it didn't start because of a battery issue. So if this has a battery issue, why in the world are we keeping it in service and using it for an emergency?
This one doesn't have a battery issue. You're confusing the two. That's
We
where
could
I think
listen
you're
to it.
confused.
Would you like to listen to the meeting? Because I can
Let's
pull it
go.
up and we can listen.
Let's go.
The other one also had a, I don't want to say muffler, exhaust leak, right? Another truck.
The 672 was developed.
Is this
in the line.
682, correct?
This one is 682. yeah.
Thank you.
So the big thing is operational decisions are supposed to be from the chief. I understand you have the final say. That comes from your direction to us. If we want to have the conversation about it, we have the conversation about it. We don't just bring it to a board meeting and sell it. Because with all due respect, you don't understand the full gamut of what that does, pulling it out of the lineup for service, and how that affects the response.
Well, when we say to sell it, does that mean immediately, or is
They
we
have to
just
take-
go through the
take-
process of everything that needs done,
they have to
right?
take stuff off of
There
it.
is no way that we could have this conversation other than at a board meeting. I mean, I
That's true.
could tell Alex, but I've already told him I think we should remove it from service. And we had the meeting in March, which I'm trying to skip through the ads. All right, let me see, 4259.
Skid unit out of 83 into the back of that, which would update us astronomically. it would keep our assets in our township, and we don't have to go out to spend $20,000-$30,000 to run two.
This is the old truck.
In addition, to replace the second brush truck is what would come to you guys next year, and I would only be proposing probably 10 to 15,000 to find a long box, 3/4 ton, doesn't have to be anything fancy, to set another skid unit in. Those would be the only things that we would be looking at.
Chief, I thought you said something about there's like a Suburban that's a death trap or.
682 is a utility vehicle. That was the old fire chief vehicle. That is a 2010. That has a lot of the same problems with engine codes coming on. It's got some electrical stuff that's happening with it. I think that one's at 130, 140,000 miles.
That's the Explorer.
That's the Explorer.
Explorer.
Which we wouldn't replace that.
What do we do with that?
Sell it, get rid of it. Ultimately, what that would do is that would put more stress on if we were to send members out to training and that, and we were having them taking that piece of apparatus, they would then have to take the 672.
I motion to sell the Ford Explorer and remove it from service. Sell it on Ranger bid.
I will second that.
Benj motioned, Peggy seconded. And we will roll call vote.
That's not the right one.
Oh, sorry. You do that.
That's a long motion, 1 second, please. I want to make sure I get that, you said sell it on Ranger bid, so that's what we're voting on. Okay. Ben?
Yes.
Courtney?
No.
Rhonda?
No.
Amanda?
Yes.
Trudy? Yes?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-2. Should we vote on how long of a process so we can give them time to adjust their programming?
I don't think we need to put a time on it. It's just, yeah, when they're able to.
Time to remove.
Yeah.
All right. We also had interviews from legal services. Are you guys prepared to make a motion on hiring a legal representative? Or are there comments to talk about it?
I'm ready.
So there was an interview with Enrica on last Thursday from Smith, Huey, Rice, and Rogue. And we had an interview with Parmenter O'Toole the meeting before that. I didn't put anything in your packets because they both presented to us. So I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts, suggestions, still want to move forward, ready to nominate somebody.
I move that we hire Parmenter O'Toole.
I second
All right.
Wow.
Is there any discussion?
Yes. We've had nothing but issues with them. They've overcharged us. They've worked on ordinances, not in our direction. They failed to file motions to compel when Sun Chemical took us to the tax tribunal from January all the way until, I don't know what the last date is for the county. The county was up against a wall. They needed that to be done in the time they had. And They said they filed them, and come to find out, they admitted they didn't file them. There was a packet this big, because I asked to see it, of emails back and forth to John Schreier from the county, Donna Vandervries, who is the equalization director, and her, I don't know if he's called the deputy, back and forth to John Schreier all that time, and he never filed those motions to compel. I don't know why we would hire them. I understand they will assign someone else to us, but he is a senior attorney there, and you can bet they're going to consult him, just like our attorneys consult others within our current one. I think it would be a huge mistake for us to hire them.
Did we have any issues with our current?
Yes. I'm very happy with our main representative. I want to say that on the record. I'm very happy with her. There's some things that I thought could have been a little bit better, but overall, the main issue was with negotiations. It's also very expensive. The number one reason is cost. We are paying for them to travel from Grand Rapids all the way to Muskegon to go to court, which would be free with either of these two other competitors. The other thing is, when we have a difficult negotiation, we're spending thousands, because that comes from Livonia, Southfield, Detroit area. My reservation with Enrica's firm, I was very impressed with her. I think she's amazing and would do a wonderful job. They do not offer the employment law, and that other firm is quite expensive. And they're in Grand Haven, so it would be cheaper than travel from Livonia, Southfield, but it's still an expense. You know, we are a new board, and I don't have the same reservation about Parmenter O'Toole because there are new people. I've had great experiences with other attorneys from there in other jobs and other parts of the business, and I really liked Brendan's presentation. I wonder if part of that could have been on the township, maybe with missing paperwork or not following up or not watching it. I don't know for sure, because like I said, we weren't here, but they can take care of us completely where the other one couldn't, and we would save a ton of money. So I would be confident to vote for either one tonight.
But their past history of taking care of us wasn't good, in my opinion. I gave the reasons, and same attorney is still there. And also, you said they're in the Smith, Hoy, Rice, and Rogie, or in Grand Haven. They have an office downtown.
No, the one that would do the employment law.
Oh,
just for
Warner,
negotiations.
Norcross, and Judd.
Yeah.
So
And
you're
they're
thinking of them, the ones in Grand Haven, just for the negotiations?
so for anything employment law related, which is a big portion.
Yeah,
to
it
be
is.
honest with you, it's really huge, and
And
they're
they specialize in that.
a fancier firm. They're gonna cost more.
Yep, but we
But
don't have
less
to
than-
choose them. We could choose whoever we want.
But less than the one in Livonia.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
And they're local.
they're in Grand Rapids too, but yes.
So other than that, then our current lawyer is pretty good, you say?
I mean, yeah, they do a decent job. It's just we could save a lot of money by handling court cases
Right here.
in town.
Yeah.
$75 an hour or $85, depending on which firm we were to go with.
And we're not locked in to use them for anything really.
There's no contract, which is another good
No.
thing. If we gave Parmenter an option to serve us and it wasn't working out, there's no contract.
Mhm.
We could just say, you know what, this isn't working out, and we're gonna call the other firm and use them instead. We're not tied to anyone. And anything we have open right now with Foster Slip, we can continue.
Who at Parmenter O'Toole would do our code enforcement in our court cases?
Brennan Gorman.
Brennan would be doing that.
He would do pretty much everything. And I did ask, could we be assigned to someone other than John Schreier? And he said, yeah, we would work that out for you.
Would that
So
be
we
okay
weren't gonna
with
help
you?
him. No.
So would you rather go and do the Grand Haven route or just stay with Swift?
Well, Smith, Hoy, Rogie, and Rice have an office downtown here. It's the employment people, negotiations and that we'd have to find someone else. That's who they recommend is the one at Grand Haven. That doesn't mean.
Are you okay with
I
that?
think Amanda suggested we could even use Foster Swift again for the,
Mm-hmm.
Foster Swift did increase their rates, it's $40 or something an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything has.
Is that 240 then?
So
or-
no, it's 275 and the
Oh.
other's 195 or 200. And no travel cost. I mean, unless they come from downtown Muskegon to here, which is like 9 miles.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, we're in discussion, but we do have a motion in a second.
So all the issues, were they with that one lawyer?
Yeah, he was our township lawyer.
But they've
assigned to
said we
us.
could use another lawyer, and that's not.
If
That's not
we go,
okay.
if we
But
go
he's a
back into
senior.
union negotiations, we don't want to use Foster Swift.
There was a pretty
No,
big
for
error with that.
O'Toole, I mean.
It was significant
Parmenter
enough.
O'Toole, though, he is a senior attorney, he's been there a long time. You can bet they're going to consult with him.
I mean, if he knows the law, he knows the law. He's not billing us. He's not working directly for us.
But I gave you 3 examples where he messed up. I don't know how else to say it. He overcharged us,
Was it
which I
corrected?
caught it. No, I told our deputy clerk to short pay it, so we didn't pay it to begin with. And then the other time, the county equalization director, Donna Vandervries, and her deputy, I forgot his name, they came here and we sat down with John Schreier and they were very diplomatic. I was surprised they were so calm because they were under the gun and you have to file with the state. You don't get to make it in your own time. And it was over 6 months. Communications back and forth and never resolved until they came and sat down here with me. I mean, how do you not know that you didn't file a motion to compel? That's a huge thing. And tax tribunal is nothing to mess around with.
I do understand your concerns, but I feel like you can't judge a whole entire firm by one person. And
Well, if that person's still there, I feel.
But we would hope we weren't using that same person.
Hope, yes.
That
He
does
assured-
give, that
he
does
did
give
it-
me
there's
some
no guarantee.
reservations too.
well, he did assure us that there would be someone else. I mean, we have a very respected community member that recommended I call that firm. So it's not like they are a horrible firm with a horrible reputation. They have a great reputation. They used to come to my bank and do presentations. It was not John. It was someone who specializes in, estate planning. But I've had nothing but great experiences with that firm.
But we're municipal, we're not estate planning.
Well, I know, but
I'm
we're
saying,
not, we're
just
also
because
not
that one
using
was good
John.
doesn't mean the municipal one would.
So,
Yeah. That's my thoughts.
Well, we have a motion
Yep.
and a second.
we have a motion and a
Okay.
second, so we will roll call vote.
I gotta write it down. Corey?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Trudy, no? Becky?
Yes.
Benj?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-1.
Can you remind me who made the motion? I didn't write that down yet.
No,
I did.
Yeah.
Rhonda?
Yes.
And who's second?
Corey.
Corey.
Thank you.
All right, last meeting we updated the terms and conditions of the shed definition to match the state code. Unfortunately, our lovely office girl went on vacation and it did not get posted in the Chronicle timely. So we need a new adoption date. So that's number 4 and 5 are just on here to update the dates so that they can get into the Chronicle on time.
You need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
I make a motion to update the adoption date to make it into the Chronicle. What's the date gotta be?
It'll be today's date, and then
Today's
she can
date.
do it tomorrow or
Okay.
Monday morning.
For her to
Today's
post
date.
it in the paper?
Um,
What are we
I'll
doing
second.
here?
We're just updating the terms and conditions effective today.
Because we already approved them before.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Corey, you made the motion. Who seconded? Benj?
Okay, Rhonda?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Trudy, yes. Peggy?
Yes. Benj?
Yes.
All right, 6-0. And then the same thing for the,
What about Corey?
oh,
Did I start with you?
No.
He's not here.
Corey?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought I started with him.
Same thing for code adoption. We adopt our codified ordinances effective this meeting today.
So moved.
Second.
Who wants the second?
I don't care.
Peggy can. Yeah.
Thank you.
I made the motion technically,
Got
didn't
it?
I?
Yep.
You were asking for it? Yeah, so moved.
I
And
just
then she-
need, they said at the same time, so I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
sure who put it down. Okay. Amanda?
Yes.
Trudy, yes. Peggy? Yes. Ed?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Up next is the final approval for the Willow Creek Preserve. That is the weird shaped paper folded in your packet, like a large paper. And there's a letter. So Jeff wrote a letter, mentions personal number, and they have completed all necessary steps and turned in all documents needed for final approval at the township board level.
This is a major change from the last proposal I've seen.
What's different?
They had walkable, like a kind of like a walkable, more dense, I guess, section in the very back, and different drainage fields and their placement. So they also had spurs that went out to the edge of the property that could be connected to future development.
The drains might have been at the direction of the drain commissioner, possibly, if they move them around. Sometimes the drain commissioner wants to attire, I don't know how many feet around the
I
outside.
kind of remember something.
Yeah.
Can I address that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay, I'll stand up here and introduce myself, Steve Valier.
Thank you, Steve. I knew I recognized you and I didn't remember that's who you were. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with West Shore Consulting, and I'm here on behalf of Jeff Meadema Homes, who's the proprietor and the developer of the site. I think what you're getting this mixed up with is that when we already had preliminary site approval on what you see before you for the 51 lots with a horseshoe drive in there. There's a bike path on this on the interior side. But what you're thinking of is during that time period, at the behest of, I think the housing coordinator of the county contacted the developer, and they talked about, well, maybe we should look at a denser development and under a PUD or a open space cluster design.
That would be
so what we
wonderful.
did, we had another meeting, just as an informational meeting, but with the board here, just to see what their input was on it. And I know you was in favor of it. I remember more of the open space subdivision design. It didn't really work out when they checked the logistics of the legal that had to be done and the zoning changes.
Did you, so what zoning?
So that
changes?
wasn't really an approved site plan. I think he just gave information on that.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a general direction, I remember.
Yeah, yep. But the one that got approved at the preliminary was this one for the 51 lots and the design that you've seen. And that's the one the developer, because of some of the intrigue with what had to be changed, went with this.
Do you remember
The
some of the
original
zoning
approval.
requirements that limited you?
What's that?
Do you remember some of the zoning requirements that limited you?
Yeah, a lot of it was the open space, the multi-cluster to get the density on there. It also, when we ran the numbers on the design work too, it was actually more cost for the sewer and, the roadways.
Yeah.
It actually increased. So that was one thing that was detrimental to it too, from a cost saving, and also the logistics of changing the zoning, the other public hearings that had to be done for a PUD, which I don't think you had really. You have to probably incorporate an ordinance for that to get it done. So
With PUDs, we have some leeway on ordinances. If you needed any like zoning changes, that's actually a good time to do that when you're doing a PUD. That might take longer, but
Yeah.
we'd be willing to work with you if you needed some zoning changes. And we had a good plan to look at, see like what you were looking at. And you could get public input as usual, but yeah. But we're willing to be more flexible in the future if you would like.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep that in mind. It might come about in the future here also.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't have a problem with open space subdivision design myself, but a lot of other municipalities incorporate them. It's just so on this particular site with the design, the logistics from had to be done, and also the increased cost, they just stuck with their original approval, which is what he went forward with, and what all the approvals that the Eagle Health Department and the Drain Office and the utilities have all been involved this time, and have made the, it will basically probably within 30 days of construction if we get approval tonight.
And also, just to be clear, I was probably not the one who's okay with the open space development. I feel like that's a waste of, I think that's urban sprawl. So, but other people did, I remember, mention that. It wasn't me, however, because this corridor, with the limited amount of infrastructure we have for sewer, and anytime that we have existing sewer, I actually would like that to be more dense, not less. So, and with this being 100-foot lots, or with a street frontage, you can have up to 85 at least, if you even have a septic. You can, if you have a septic, you can go 85, I believe, but you can go even more dense if you have the sewer. So, yeah, this is typical sprawl, I would think.
Yeah.
But in the future, if there's sewer, existing sewer, and you're going to pipe into that, you can go even denser than this.
Well, there is public sewer that we're extending to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So if you wanted to go denser and there's sewer, like that's an opportunity for you.
And just for people watching the video, people here, a PUD is a planned unit development. There's other options versus a subdivision, different rules at the state and different.
Okay, thank you.
I make a motion to approve the site project for Jeff Meadema Homes, parcel number 61-11-019-300-0003-0003-00.
I second.
Motion by Corey, second by Benj.
Amanda?
I say yes.
Trudy, yes. Peggy? Yes. Benj?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you for being here, Steve.
Yes.
All right, up next is the Parks and Rec plan. So this has gone back and forth. There's a school of thought that it should come with the master plan, but we also don't want to miss out on grant funding. So I put it back on the agenda.
And to be clear, it has already gone through public hearing, and that was a concern before. So yeah, this has completed that.
Did anybody come for? No one showed up.
No, it was announced, but
it was properly posted. I do know that, but no one showed up. So there was something.
But we also had been working on it for months too.
Did you guys do like conversations with people you came in contact with, or send out surveys that you did get responses? Because I was told there were comments or something, like there's feedback, but if no one came, how did you get the feedback? Could you speak to that?
They didn't.
There's no feedback.
There was
from the
no
public.
interest.
Okay.
But there's like a paragraph in there that, like you said, references comments from the public. I wondered about that too.
That was from. It wasn't from that day of the hearing. It would have been from the other days we worked on it.
From like public comment at prior
Yeah.
meetings or something like that.
Mhm.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. I make a motion that we approve the 2025-2030 Parks and Rec plan.
I second.
I'm gonna start it with last time. Was it you?
Yeah.
Peggy? Yes. Benj?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Trudy, yes.
Motion carries 6-0. All right, up next, I would like to appoint Rich Naderhood to the Zoning Board of Appeals to replace Bambi Reinhardt, if the board would bless that appointment.
I'll make a motion to appoint Rich Netterhood to the ZBA. Did I say that right?
Is that you?
Sounds like Naderhood.
Naderhood.
I think a neighborhood with a D, Naderhood.
Naderhood, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I get it all the time.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look how to spell his name correctly. Benj,
Yes,
Corey?
definitely, yes.
Rhonda,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes,
Drew, yes.
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah, happy to have you.
The annual meeting date. So it's pretty much set for us. There was a resolution, I think it's in your packet here, of moving it from a Saturday to 1 hour before the last meeting before the end of the budget year. So that date is June 18th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we schedule our annual meeting date to be June 18th at 6 p.m.
Second. Is it already in a resolution? We don't need to vote.
Oh,
I don't know. We voted on it last year.
Same thing, 1 hour before. I don't think we need to vote. We already made a resolution to it unless we want to change the resolution.
So because it's a resolution, we don't have to vote. I just know we voted on it last year and I didn't want to miss
I
it.
was gonna say yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting is scheduled. All right, next up, salary resolution. Let's see. Chris prepared this from last year's sample. Oh, these were specific.
Should look like this.
I know, I saw.
We have a lot of papers this time.
I know it.
So this has to be adopted 30 days prior to the annual meeting of the electors. So it can be tonight, it could be next meeting. There is a way to, instead of doing a percent, to do like a flat dollar amount, salary amount. It's not on this because I didn't prepare this. I prepared a different one, but then I used this, so I didn't know Chris had this done already.
Okay. So right now the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer positions are all way under the average salary of anyone in our township. And
$22.39 per hour.
What's that? What's that?
Without meetings.
Say again?
$22.39 per hour gross.
Mine's less.
Yeah.
So I don't think the people that are making decisions that are very consequential for the township should be making poverty wages. Like, I know that people can, you can qualify for food stamps at these levels, and I think that we should at least raise it to the average salary, at least, like.
It's hard to find an average salary because we are actually, surprisingly, we are one of the bigger townships. And I know the community had a lot to say last year about wages, but we all that are elected make far, far less than any employee that works here. And we're here more, we take calls a lot more, and we have nights that are required. We don't get overtime, we don't get any compensated time off.
Additionally, when you underpay somebody for a position where they have a lot of power, I'm not saying anyone here would ever be tempted, but you're asking for trouble, because if someone is financially struggling and they're dealing with millions of dollars, you don't want them to be in a dire financial situation. So yeah, and just in general, you don't want to have that situation. I would at least recommend putting an average salary for our area on that, because the people live in this area and they need to be able to continue living in this area without having to struggle. And I feel like it's asking for trouble to do really anything less than that. And a lot of times, I think even with John, he was on the board for 16 years and got like a pay raise one time.
I think so.
So it's already been so low for too long. So I hope that reasoning makes sense to people. I know it's going to be a big jump, but it's actually not a good situation how things are right now.
Well, it's, when we talk about this, I think the public looks at it as it's the person in office, and they need to realize it's the elected office.
It's for people in the future too.
Yeah, because if you look at all the pictures on the wall, it continually changed over all the years.
Yeah, we're not going to be here forever. So, and the same with trustees. It's I wouldn't. Obviously, we don't work as much, but it does need to be at least worth our time. And I don't think that it really is. And along with that, it hasn't been raised for. I mean, it had a 5% raise like a couple years ago, but it doesn't get raised every year, so it just keeps getting further and further behind. It's not like a volunteer position. We do have it takes a lot of professional skills to and insight and a lot of collaboration and understanding to be able to make decisions. So, I mean, if you want good people to run, you have to make it worth it for someone to at least run. I don't know if I'm going to even run again, so this isn't so much for me, but I want good people to run for this. I don't want them I don't want all of them have to be independently wealthy or on retirement. We want a good mix of people, young professionals in different fields, people with all sorts of experience. We don't want to limit it to and box ourselves into a specific kind of person who can only afford really to take the job. So, yeah. I mean, I know I work 4 jobs, so this is not, I'm not doing this for the money, but I would be able to spend more time on this if I didn't have to work even more. I hope that makes sense too. So something like that, I would do something that matches the neighboring township. They pay $10,000 a year for the trustees, and I would put that on there. And then I think the average salary for someone in Egelston is about $61,000. I would put that on there too for the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer.
Are you making a motion?
Yep.
Okay, can you state your motion, please?
I make a motion to raise the salaries of the offices as follows: supervisor, $61,000 per year. Clerk, $61,000 per year. Treasurer, $61,000 per year, and Board of Trustees, $10,000 per year.
I second that.
And we do realize this has to be approved by the voters at the annual meeting.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We're not setting them to that right now.
No.
Okay, Corey second. Did you vote last time? I should
I
start
was
with.
first last.
You're first last time. Okay, Vange.
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
Got it?
Can I abstain?
No,
I don't
you
think
cannot
so, no.
abstain.
Not unless you have
Just so you know, the public can adjust to whatever. They can't go lower, but they could adjust. They could say not that much.
They could say 5% or 6% or
Yeah.
2% or.
Okay, now, yes, since this doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
Sort of. Yeah. Amanda?
Yes.
Trudy, yes.
Yes, even though I'm not
Peggy,
here
I'm
for
sorry.
the money. I'm not here for the
I
money.
know, you're not here for the money.
All right, motion carries 6-0. Up next, clerk appointment. I did see that Rose made it in. Rose Armstrong is here. Would you like to just step to the microphone and do a brief introduction, talk about yourself a little bit?
We can do that.
Okay.
I've never done a job interview like this before in my life. And I've done a few. But it's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm not sure what you want me to say.
A little bit about
It's
yourself. It's not really an interview.
Pardon?
We chose not to do interviews yet. We were just letting people introduce
I
themselves.
do know that you guys talk really soft.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it needs to be turned up. This isn't a formal interview. Maybe you can explain that.
Yeah, just tell us a little bit. What do you do for fun? What's your life experience and business experience, and what made you interested in this position? Just a little.
I don't
who are
know.
you?
I've known Joan for a number of years. She's a great lady. When I heard she passed away, I thought, I came in to pick up some paperwork, and I run into Trudy, and so her and I were chatting in the corridor out there, and I said to her, and she goes, oh, turn your resume in. She said, yeah. I have an extensive amount of business background. I've worked for 2 banks. I worked for Comerica Bank and for First of America, which is now, I believe, Fifth Third. So I think, there was some handling there. So I've been in that kind of a industry. I worked for 14 and a half years with the Muskegon Chronicle. I was a advertising sales representative. I oversaw advertising that went into the classified advertising section. I oversaw the publication of what they call the Homes magazine. So I worked with a lot of realtors and stuff like that. I know one of the things that you had mentioned was you said that you wanted to know about boards. I've sat on a few boards, haven't I, Ben? Ben has known me for many, many years. I was the treasurer of our church for maybe about 10 years, 12 years, something like that, before we moved into a new church in Muskegon. I served on a women's ministry. It's called Aglow International. I've served on the local board here in Muskegon as president. I have been serving right now as the president of what they call the Southwest area, which is the southwest corner of Michigan. It includes about 20 counties down to the border, up a little bit by Ludington. And in that, I get to appoint people to different positions. I host board meetings, type agendas, make sure that everything is tracked and all that kind of stuff. I'm a very detailed person. I like all my I's dotted, all my T's crossed. I don't like to leave anything for happenstance. I like facts. I like to make sure things are done properly and in order. My husband will tell you my filing system at home, kind of amazes him, because he just looks at it and goes, you find it. And I go, oh, I can do that. And I open a drawer and it's right there. But, yeah, I don't know what it was. I've been out of the workforce we launched a church in 2019. My son was the senior pastor, and then some things transpired with that, and we closed the doors a year ago. And so I stepped back out. I ran the office there. I was part of the financial office there. Rich was also a long-time friend. Him and his wife and I are close friends, and we run this Aglow ministry together. And so, I don't know.
Well, thank you.
What do I do for fun?
Yeah.
I go to baseball games. I have grandchildren that play baseball out here. And so I'm going to suggest you put padding on those bleachers. They are really cold. When you sit there and it's cold, it gets cold.
I believe it.
Yeah. But grandkids, family, picnics in the park. what I like to do the most.
And are you willing to work full-time in any hours suggested?
Pardon?
from you? Are you willing to work full-time or any hours suggested of you?
Oh, yeah, I knew
you
that
prepared
coming
for that?
into it. I knew that it was a demanding job, and I know there's lots and bits and pieces that I probably don't know how to do. But I'm one of those that, you know, I figure if you quit learning, they should close your lid, you know, and put you under, because that would be, you know, that's just something that's just me. I like a challenge, you know.
And
I
would you
was-
be able to attend our meetings and be able to take notes whenever
Oh, yeah.
we have meetings?
Yeah, that
So
wouldn't be a
you're
problem at
flexible,
all.
Very flexible.
I used to come to them all the time,
Yeah.
and then I kind of sat back and went, well, they're not talking about too much. I look at your notes and stuff online, so I read your minutes from your meetings and your agendas online, but, you know, unless you have something that really perks my ears, you know,
Can't blame you.
I don't want to take up your time, you know. So, but no, I am not geared. I have to start. I'm just not geared for retirement. Oh, you know, what was it our pastor used to say? Retirement is not anywhere in the Bible. So if it's not in the Bible, you can throw
And
it
then he
out.
just retired.
What's that?
And then he just retired.
So, yeah, so I was kind of excited about the opportunity, you know, just to come and chat at you a little bit.
Thank you for coming.
I don't think most of you probably know me because I'm pretty quiet. I kind of,
Well.
now, Ben.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I was your youth pastor.
Well, maybe. I think that was a little before me, though.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
But I was there when I was in youth. It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank
It
you
was
for being
very
here.
fun.
Pardon?
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Pleasure, honor. That it?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Did we want to open it up to the other candidates to speak for a moment? If they want.
We already had them, yeah. Is
Was everyone here during that?
Is she here? Is Amy here? No. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Krista Richard to the clerk's position.
I'll second that one.
All right, we have a motion and a second to appoint Krista Richard. We will roll call vote.
Corey?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
Vicky, yes. Peggy?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Krista, you are appointed. Motion carries. All right, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
At 8:48 p.m.
Yeah.
Did we have a second?
I did.
Corey?
Did we vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.